Hey everybody, it's another Pop Recap. I'm Alex.
I'm Sean.
And finally we get to talk about Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 1, Winterfell. Winterfell, aka Arya smiles a lot and Bran is creepy. That's what I would call this episode.
Well, it's a lot of things. I'm just grateful to be back in the Game of Thrones world, talking about it.
Waited so
long. It's been a long time coming.
Yes.
And
I was stranded at the airport on Sunday, and so I didn't get to watch it right when it came out, and I was just like, this is the worst day of my life. But I've seen it 2 times already.
I've seen it twice and skimmed through it a 3rd time.
That's true.
So I'm really excited to talk about this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, first of all, I mean, we get a new intro.
Yes, which I got right. I predicted that.
Oh, did you? I don't remember us doing that as part of the prediction.
That was like...
No, you said that the wall would be broken. You didn't say new intro.
Well, that's part of the intro, that the wall is broken.
No, well, they do small... up seasons 1 through 7, they did small changes.
Yeah.
This is a completely new intro. Yeah. This is not what we predicted at all. Certainly not what Sean predicted.
Well, I predicted they would show the hole in the wall, which they did.
Right.
Obviously I didn't know they would do a new intro, but I loved the second
it
started,
great.
I was like, oh, new intro, because it looks, you could just tell it looks completely different. Yeah. And I love it. And I don't know if you noticed this.
I'm sure I did.
Is that you can now see in the intro where the whites are.
Oh yeah, it's like an unfolding
little,
like...
which I love that.
Yeah.
Considering where the episode leaves us, which we'll get to, it shows exactly where they are. Not that far from Winterfell, so I love that little...
They hit Last Hearth and they're on their way.
And also, like, we get to see Winterfell and we get to see King's Landing. Mm-hmm. That's really the only places we've actually visited in the show, in this episode. But we also get to see a lot of places inside those in Winterfell and King's Landing that played a big role in the past and may play a bigger role in the future. We don't know.
I don't know. I feel like we're going to kind of stay where we are a little bit. We might see the Iron Islands.
Maybe.
But I don't know if we're really going to see much more than that. There really aren't that many episodes, so...
No, but I just like the fact that we got to saw, like, the crypts of Winterfell, the hall, everything. Obviously, in King's Landing, we get to see the Iron Throne.
Yeah, that was cool.
And where the dragon head still is. I love all that.
Only 3 major players now in the game, so, like, you can see, like, where it used to have all of the different, like, sigils and whatever. It's just the White Walkers and the dragon and the lion, or I don't know, something like that.
And the Starks.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's on there.
I'm not sure.
Oh no, I think the dragons come in at the end. That's what it is. Yeah.
So where do you want to start with it? Now we got the intro out of the way.
Well, what I really liked about this episode is that there's quite a few parallels between this and the pilot episode.
Yes.
For example, we open on this boy who's scrambling around trying to see the procession, and that's exactly how episode 1, season 1 opened, but it was Arya scrambling through trying to take a bigger look. She's got this big helmet on her head that's like doesn't quite fit. But in this episode, the camera sort of pans up and you see her just sort of looking at the boy like, I was like that once.
But also, she makes room for him, too. She kind of steps aside so we can kind of see.
Yeah, it's like, I remember when I was excited.
Yeah, exactly, when like things like that really meant something. I mean, it does mean something to her, but for a completely different reason. John's coming back, and that's a big deal for her, but it doesn't really parallel episode 1 completely.
Oh, sure. There's a couple of other things, too, which we can talk about where there are parallels, but we'll get there as we continue on. Yeah. So, you know, we see John and Dany sort of riding up, looking all regal and stuff, and obviously people in Winterfell are wary of outsiders, so they're giving everybody, like, the
stink eye.
Kind of like, what are you doing
here? Like,
I
don't know what's going on here, because we had a king in the north, and I don't know what's going on now.
But then the dragons.
Yeah, but going back to Arya, just seeing like the 3 looks she gives, in the sense that she has one look when she sees Jon for the first time, not sure if she should call out, but she kind of reserves herself, but she's still happy to see him, and you can see that in her face. And then the look when she sees the Hound, like, oh my God, you're back, you didn't die. That little scowl she gives, like, I can't believe you're still alive.
Yeah.
And then when she sees Gendry, like, oh my God, my friend is back.
Yep.
I don't know how quite I feel about you. I love you. Oh, what? Oh, nothing. So those 3 different looks are all completely different, and Macy Williams does a great job with all 3.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's so many reunions in this episode.
Yes.
That, I mean, I kind of wish they wouldn't have wasted an episode on it I felt like this episode
I feel the opposite than Nick.
Really slow, and like nothing really happened.
No, but
everyone's saying, "Oh, well, they had to set up the rest of the season."
I agree because like.
But it's kind of like I just feel really cheated that was a whole episode.
But again, remember we only get 6, so
that's what I mean. We only get 6.
But because we only get 6, and one of them is literally just a battle. A lot of stuff that they have to do, they have to get to that point. So a lot of this reunion stuff happens in this episode. It's setting it up.
Boring.
I don't find episodes like this boring.
It's boring because
it plays a pivotal role in how you feel about the battle episode when that happens.
But they rushed it. Is like my point is there were so many reunions. It's like, okay, that's over with, and that was the whole episode. It's like, but I didn't really feel anything.
Oh, I disagree.
Like,
I felt a lot of stuff.
Oh, well, that's crazy, because you're usually dead inside.
Yeah, but for me, it worked. Like, I don't feel it was rushed. I feel everything happened the way it was supposed to. The only one I kind of feel weird about is the one with Sam and John, which we'll get to. But other than that, I feel everything happened fine.
I don't know. And then we've been waiting for so long, and I feel that, we see Tyrion, and he's, like, making a joke about balls, and it's like, okay, is that really how we have to open this episode? Like, just give me something new. I felt like it was just a lot of the same stuff.
That's fine.
And like, I get that these reunions have to happen, but I would have liked more substance to it.
I mean, yeah, but we're not going to get a lot of new stuff because a lot of new characters aren't going to be introduced. We have the Golden Company, and that's everything else was everything we already knew.
Which is why I feel like it was just kind of a waste to. Like, I don't feel like the pacing was very good, and there were just too much. I know I'm not the only person who feels this way.
No, I trust me, I know you're not. I've heard other people say it, but I just disagree with you guys. I just feel like they are setting up a lot because we're not going to have time to do a lot of these things as we move forward. We're not going to have the time. So a lot of it has to happen in this episode. Because if one episode is literally a battle, we're not going to have a time to, Gendry, can you do this for me, blah, blah, blah. There's not going to be no time for that stuff.
Well, I guess my point was I wish that the episode was just like a half an hour longer. Maybe that's what I want. Because I wanted something to happen. I wanted, and like we find out who John's parents, or he finds out, but like we already knew that, and that was rushed. He didn't know that. And it was rushed. And I didn't feel like it was shot very well. And like just kind of like a few moments that whatever, but we can just move on talking about more scenes, and my frustrations will come out, I'm sure. But
but we kind of left off with the dragons in the sense that it's always interesting to see people see the dragons for the first time.
I love that. I always get a little teary eyed because I love dragons. Because
they're the last people people in King's Landing have seen the dragons. People in the north haven't. Mm-hmm. So when they see, like, you can actually hear someone say, "Oh, well, the gods protect us because there's dragons." But you can see Arya have this look of amazement and then this little smile on her face, almost like, "Wow, they're dragons." Mm-hmm. But then Sansa had this look of like, "Oh my God, they're dragons."
Yeah, she was not as impressed.
Yeah.
Or like there was like concern.
Yeah, like oh my God, like what are we gonna do with these dragons now?
What do they even eat?
Whatever they want. So it's always nice to see people's reaction to, and just to see how Dany was like worried about like, oh, I'm getting the stink eye, but now when people see my dragons, they're like, oh, that brought a smile to her face.
Yeah, and I think on that front, one of the things that we're gonna see and it's gonna be important is this tension between Daenerys and Sansa.
Yeah.
Because I can see why Sansa is like, okay, so I've been here running this whole place, like getting everybody food, getting everybody ready, and you just bring this whole army and this queen and these dragons, and I don't get any credit. And I still have to like bend the knee to her, bow to her. Whatever. Yeah. And I feel like Lyanna Mormont had the same feelings as well, where it's sort of like you went south to try to like help us, and you come back and you bring this queen who's not our queen. Like, you're the king in the north. So there's obviously some frustration with the people of Winterfell and the people of the north, for sure.
I mean, I can understand their gripe too. I mean, like Lady Mormont said, like, you left king in the north and now you come back, I don't know what you are. Mm-hmm. I can understand her frustration, but as John said, we don't have time for all this stuff. I told you he did exactly what he said he was going to do. I'm going to go in there. We need allies. Mm-hmm. She's a powerful ally. She has a big army. She has 2 dragons. We can't win this fight alone. Yeah. It's important that we make alliances, and she's the biggest alliance that we can make at the time. it's all that, what do I don't bend the knee and she doesn't help us and we get killed? Well, what good is that? So people have to realize, like, he did what he had to do. He had no choice. He had to do it. Because we don't, just like Bran said, we don't have time for this. Night King's coming, he's got a dragon now, there's a hole in the wall, we gotta do things. So you just can't, can't think of the old way of, like, you bend the knee, how dare you? It's like, we want to stay alive. Why wouldn't I? You gotta look at it that way.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But on Bran saying, like, hey, we gotta speed this up, like, that's exactly how I felt about, like, all these reunions. So I found it really funny that they put that in the writing. Like, we don't have time for all these reunions. They're marching south on us, and they have a dragon. I wish Daenerys felt a little differently about that moment, but she's just kind of like,
she did give a look about, like, oh yeah,
but like, wouldn't you feel a little more?
I guess that could have been a bigger moment, but I think it will be a bigger moment when she actually sees it.
Yeah.
Because again, it's always of, what is your reaction when you first see the dragon? What is her going to react when she first sees her dead dragon coming at her? Like, I think that's going to be a bigger moment. I agree with you in the sense that moment should be big, but I think they're saving that for when she actually sees her dragon again.
I mean, they could do it both, I guess.
Well, I guess, but they made a decision. But I think that's going to be a moment when she's like, oh my god, I got to fight my own child that's dead.
Always awkward.
Yeah.
Always super awkward. But Bran is just really killing it this episode. I love him. There was so much unintentional, or maybe even intentional humor in this episode, where like Bran it's like funny. He's just watching you, and he's just there,
and just looking at you.
And he knows he's watching you poop. Okay, let's talk about Jon and Dany's relationship, because it's really not working for me, and I really don't care. And it's just, they really just don't have any chemistry. And it's just pretty obvious.
I mean, I don't think they have as much, Jon doesn't have as much chemistry with her as he did with Ingrid, yeah. Obviously they ended up being married in real life, so that was some major chemistry. But I still buy it.
I don't buy it.
I like the fact that Dany can soften at moments. And we've seen that a couple of times with Jon, especially when she in season 7 when she lands with Drogon and he's standing there and he's curious about how he's gonna react to that. And he's able to pet him, and then she also softens when he actually rides one. So I like that they're taking their relationship a little bit slowly. I like that. So it does. I do buy it.
Doesn't feel slow.
I mean, they built up to it. It's not like they met and they're like, oh, I love you, let's have sex.
That's kind of what it felt like.
It didn't feel that way to me. I mean, it took them a while. Because at first she was like, bend the knee. And that's all she was concerned about. And eventually she softened, as much as Dany can soften, to him and to that idea. And then I think, she's coming along. She's got a lot of softening to do. But I like their relationship. Obviously, it's not... they don't have the best chemistry, I'll admit that, but they do have some chemistry.
Yeah, it's just interesting to see her vulnerable like that, and I don't think I like it. But
she doesn't show it all the time. She only shows it when he's around.
Well, right, exactly. So, like, he's like her weakness type of thing, which we'll see how that plays out. But and we'll see how she reacts to the news,
yes,
of course.
I'm very interested in
the news!
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see how she reacts.
But, Dany's become an interesting character because, the further we go on, the more I'm convinced that she's not going to be a good queen. The more I feel that she's so hung up. And there is a line, who is it who says it? I can't remember. There's a line... You would give up your crown for your people.
Oh,
would she do the same? Sam says that? Yeah. And I don't think she would. I don't think she would give up her crown. She's so just like, no, I'm the queen. That I feel like she loses sight of humanity sometimes. I mean, a great example is when she was in the crypts or not the crypts, but in the library with Sam.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think she doesn't. She has moments just kind of like, when she needs to soften.
Yeah, but...
Or have some... Yeah.
But this is why I'm worried about her, because it's like, what are you going to get,
Yeah, I agree. Well, she's not going to end up on the Iron Throne anyway, in my eyes anyway.
Yeah.
But I think... I agree with you in the sense that she doesn't know how to have empathy for what's happening.
Yeah.
So she just
picks and chooses.
Yeah, she has I just did my duty. I don't see what the big deal is. I gave him a choice.
And then Sam.
But it's like you're telling, like once you realize who you're talking to, you could have some empathy, especially not what you did, how you did it. It's one thing to have them beheaded. You're roasting them. Yeah. So have a little bit of sympathy when you're telling Sam that.
Yeah.
So I agree with you in the sense that she wouldn't make the best queen or the best ruler because of that fact alone. And it's been that way since the beginning. Ever since when she was in Marine, she was just like, all these people coming up to her, she's like, yeah, whatever. Just like, when is this over? Like, there's certain parts of the job that she doesn't feel comfortable doing. She doesn't have much empathy. Even though when the farmer's daughter died, she had some empathy, but not really. She's like, okay, well, I'll pay you off. Just go away. Yeah, I'll lock my dragons up so they don't happen again.
I think she felt bad about that. But then there's other moments where, like, she sentenced that slave to death.
Yeah.
In front of everybody.
Yeah.
And, like, she just keeps making... Yeah, she keeps making these choices and she's just not very consistent. So, I'm concerned with how she's going to react to the news with Jon.
Yes.
Because I just don't think that's gonna
be a moment. And the only thing about it too is that I think she's gonna be the same way any normal person. Well, what's the proof? There's no proof.
Yeah.
So I think she's going to question it big time because there's no way to prove what they're saying.
Yeah.
Except for the annulment, they can prove that, but other than that, there's no way to prove what they're saying.
Right.
So she's gonna have a real hard time accepting it.
And I think that's that moment with Sam and Dany where Sam realizes just how she is kind of nuts. And then immediately goes to tell Jon, you're actually the king. She's not. She's not the queen. So there's that moment where Bran intercepts and is like, you gotta tell him now. Because Bran probably saw that happening.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
And Bran's probably just kind of, we got to get her out of here and we got to get Jon on the throne because he's the actual king. Yeah. So, like, that, I don't think it was a coincidence that happens right after that scene.
Well, I mean, I think that's also good writing, too, in the sense where it's just like, hey, I could see, like, I gotta tell Jon at this point. Because, poor Sam. I mean... There's one thing is that, I mean, since we're talking about it, we might as well just talk about it. In the sense that you can see Sam just, like, see how he reacts to, like, hearing his dad died. Yeah. And then he's like, well, that's unfortunate. I can go home now. And then, like, well, it's like, my brother's around. And like, oh, but he died too? I didn't really have a problem with him. Yeah, that quiver. But I do like the way it started, like almost like, oh, I need a pardon for what? I took some books. Yeah. Who cares about books? It's like I took a sword, even though it's your sword anyway. It really is his sword now. Curious to see if what happens to that sword. Obviously, they bring it up again, so you remember. Hey, remember that he still has that sword. Yeah. So obviously, it will come to play at some point. But just to see that Dany just was like, no emotion here, man. And the way Sam just like, he's like, I gotta get out of here. Yeah.
But then you see Jon and Dany riding these dragons, which was kind of bizarre to me too.
I liked it.
It lasted way too long, and I was like, this is so weird.
I mean, because it's proving to her what kind of a man he is. Because the average man, wouldn't be able, because he even says like, I don't know how to ride a dragon.
Yeah, but shouldn't she start to suspect that maybe he's a Targaryen? Because, like...
I don't know.
Pretty sure only Targaryens can, like, ride a dragon.
Or maybe she just really thinks he's that special. I mean, he did come back from the dead, for crying out loud. But I think she likes testing him. She's like, I don't know how to ride a dragon. Oh, no one does. You just ride it. Like, I want to see if you can do it.
I would fall off.
Well,
I would absolutely just fall off.
And maybe she thinks, he would fall. He couldn't do it. Like,
but that's also kind of like freaky.
I know.
She likes like you might die.
Yeah, she likes testing people.
Yeah, but he might have actually died, and she probably.
And she was like, "It would have been nice knowing you."
Yeah, that's why she's a little nuts.
I know.
Like she's not all there, like emotionally.
Like she really I think she's like, "Are you worthy of me?" I think she really thinks highly of herself.
You don't like risk someone else's life.
Well. Maybe she knew he'd be okay. So maybe to her it's a risk, but not that big of a risk. Because not like he rode the dragon before, just not by himself. So
but that's just
I don't know.
I would have fallen right off.
Yeah, but it was...
That was kind of weird. I felt like it didn't have to go so... I mean, also we have to introduce the fact that he probably will ride a dragon in the final battle.
Maybe.
So, like, they kind of had to do that.
So I like how they got that question out of the way. Because everybody was like, oh, is he going to ride a dragon? He sure did. Question answered. Will he ride it again? Probably. But now we know for sure, yes, he's rode one. Get that question out of the way. We know that already. Yeah,
but so I want to talk about this waterfall scene then. Because there's a clear parallel between that and when Jon and Ygritte were in the cave. Yeah. So I'm not sure how I feel about this because I feel that they missed some kind of opportunity or some kind of poignant line of dialogue that just wasn't there. Because Dany says, oh, we could stay here for 1,000 years. Yes. And that's kind of what Ygritte said. She said, I don't ever want to leave this cave. Yeah. You know, and so I feel like I wanted something more emotional from Jon in that moment, because that clearly was a callback.
Yeah, it was a callback, but I think not that much of a callback, because obviously Ingrid and him had sex in that cave. Dany...
Well, no, it's definitely a parallel. No, like, it was on purpose.
No, I know it's on purpose, but it doesn't have the same meaning in the sense that that was Jon and Ingrid's first time having sex.
No, I don't think it's not about the sex. Though. No, but it's about the relationship.
Their relationship, yes, I know.
So it should have been. He should have felt like a certain way, like, oh, my first girlfriend that I loved said that to me. Like there should have been that moment of my ex-girlfriend said that to me, and then she died, and we should have stayed in that cave type of moment. Well, you're dead inside.
Yeah, but I mean, I can understand, but he knows they can't stay in that cave. Like that's not real.
That's not the point.
Jon and Ingrid could have stayed in that cave.
Ygritte.
I'm sorry. Ygritte. They could have stayed in that cave.
That's not the point. The point is whether or not they could or not, if it's practical. The point is, oh, my ex-girlfriend who I loved, wanted to stay there with, oh my god, yes, okay. Stop.
I mean, I do love the fact that the dragons have, like, hey, you better watch yourself.
Oh, I thought that was weird.
I love that. I love the watch yourself.
Of course.
Watch yourself.
Of course you did.
That's what children would do.
They're dragons.
They still are. That's their mom.
But hold, the only point, it's supposed to be funny. Like,
yes, that was funny.
Why did they put that? That's what I mean by wasting time. Like, this is what I mean why, like,
like that.
That's you, though.
No, I'm not there. I'm sure I'm not there. By the way, who like that, especially that look at the end when he turns her around, and he's looking at Drogon,
so dumb.
And Drogon's like,
do you know why though?
Why?
It's because Khal Drogo got reincarnated into Drogon.
No,
yes.
No,
yes.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all.
Well, if the only way that I want that scene in there is if that were the case.
No, I don't.
But like, I don't want to see any dragons like getting. I don't. That's so dumb. It's so dumb.
It's not being jealous, being protective.
It's stupid.
Watch yourself.
Stupid.
I mean but if it only lasts for a little bit, so what's the harm? It's not like
the harm is me being like, what are they doing?
That didn't sacrifice us seeing something else. So it's like
just the tone for this episode is so weird.
No, I disagree. I liked it.
And that's what matters, I guess.
Well, for me it does. I thought it was really a nice the way to end that scene.
Well, I wanted to bring up one more thing, though, about the parallel between the cave thing and then the waterfall. It kind of had this foreboding quality to it, too, where it's like, we know what happened to Ygritte. Like, she died. So I feel like that was some kind of foreshadow in terms of this relationship is, someone's gonna die. It had this, like, weight to it that was like, ooh, maybe a little uncomfortable.
Maybe, I mean, in the sense, because, like, you're right, they could have, in both scenarios, they're like, hey, if we stay in this cave, you know, just let's put who cares about everything else? Let's just worry about us. But they both know they really can't do that. But you
can't, and then real life happens, and you die.
Well, we'll see.
I mean, but I feel like that's why they put that parallel in there, to some kind of foreshadow. Because Jon didn't react a certain way, so it wasn't that. So I feel that it's a foreshadow for true fans who are.
But you can't expect him to start bringing up his ex up in here. Like
he's not gonna say it, Sean.
I know.
No, he just has to feel it.
Yeah, but then if you feel it and you show it, then you might have to say, you know what?
No, you don't. Well, I'm the master of this.
Well, fine. I don't. I think it was fine the way it was. But I agree with you. The parallels are there.
Yeah.
Whether it means that if things play out similarly is another story, but...
No, either way, it wasn't an accident, because what would be the point if it weren't to tell us something?
Because, they had the opportunity to be like, hey, we could just stay here forever.
Yeah.
But
you can't.
No.
And you learned that with his first girlfriend. Can't do that. So I don't know. What did we talk about now? Talk about Danny. We talked about. Oh, hey, where's Ghost? Where's Ghost? I want him.
We're gonna see him again.
I feel like there was a missed opportunity because there's all these reunions, all this stuff. I feel that there was a missed opportunity, especially because in the pilot episode is when he finds Ghost.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, you're not a Stark, so you get the run."
Yeah.
And then in this episode, we find out he is a Stark and a Targaryen. So that would have been nice if Ghost were there for that, or hanging around somewhere, even in the background.
We'll see Ghost again, just like we're seeing Nymeria again. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll
maybe they're hanging out. I know, but people are like really upset. They really wanted to see Ghost. I want to see Ghost.
Was it the last episode? No, we'll see Ghost again. Relax.
But if they spent so much time on the dragons, her children, it would have been nice for Ghost to meet Daenerys and see how that goes.
That's a fair point.
It would have been an interesting.
No.
Meet the family.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point to make. But even though it still could happen, the fact that it didn't bother me. But you make a good point that would be. That would be nice for them to have that little parallel.
I'm sure it'll happen.
I'm sure it will happen, but it didn't even dawn on me like, oh yeah, Ghost. So
he's around.
Yeah, he's around.
He's okay.
Chilling.
He's hanging out.
Yeah, he'd be okay.
I want to talk just a little bit more about Arya now that we've sort of followed the train to other characters.
Yeah.
Arya is just so smiley. She's got all these people that she hasn't seen in a while that she really likes, and then people that she doesn't, like the Hound, for example, which, by the way, that's a pretty fun interaction.
Oh, yeah, that was great. I'm glad again, another thing they got out of the way.
Yeah, true. But yeah, he's just like, you're a cold little bitch, or whatever he says.
Yeah. But he's also like, that's probably why you're still alive.
Yeah.
So give him credit for it.
He was like proud of her a little bit.
Yeah.
He's like, I taught you well. He's like, that's something I would have done.
Would have done. Can't do now anymore.
Yeah, well, he has done it.
Yeah,
before,
of course. But I love that he's pretty much acknowledged, like, oh yeah, I heard you were here.
Yeah.
Still alive, happy, but he doesn't want to give her too much. Mm-hmm. He want to give her too much.
No, of course
not. But I don't think he wants to show her how much he has changed. So he's kind of being very standoffish.
Yeah.
But like, oh, you're just a cold bitch. That's something the old Hound would say. That's kind of what you would expect. Even the way you're talking to Gendry, it's almost like, what kind of a blacksmith are you?
Yeah.
And then kind of teasing him. So I like that dynamic. And with Arya, I think she's just in a place where, obviously we still know she has her list, but now she's in a place where she has her sister, she's at home.
Yeah, she's been alone pretty much this whole time.
Yeah,
she's kind of been like dead inside, like in assassin mode. Yeah. Because there's that episode in last season where she's at the crossroads of either going to kill the queen or going home to see, Sansa. And she almost looks like an animal sort of eating her pie, like she's like, eye on the prize, and then sort of makes a shift that, I'm not going to be that completely dead inside person who's just going to go and, forget about family. So
a nameless person. But I think also just the fact that she sees Jon, obviously Bran's still there, Sansa's still there, and then even the way she's like defending Sansa, which
would have never happened.
Yeah, if from the pilot, and then if you like throughout season 7, you don't think they would have gotten to that place that she would be like, yeah, she's the smartest person I know, and I'm taking her side, and not Jon's side. So I love to see her like happy because I think obviously things are gonna happen.
It is new. It's like
it's something we haven't seen.
Yeah,
and just her flirting with Gendry.
Yeah.
I don't know if
never
Gendry
really had the opportunity to do that.
And before. I don't know if Gendry, like, you idiot, you're not picking up on she's flirting with you. You idiot. I wonder if that's gonna be a thing. It probably is. I think they'll end up having a moment together. Yeah. Not a long one, but a moment.
Probably nothing more than a moment, but yeah.
I think that will definitely happen. But he doesn't even know what's happening. Like, you fool. Like,
he's kind of a derp.
No, it's just like most guys don't know. We don't know anything. We're dumb.
Can't argue there.
So he doesn't know what's happening. He's just like, what, you just want me to make the weapon? Okay, I'll make it.
Well, let's talk about that weapon, because she gives plans, right?
Yeah.
And if you kind of zoom in on it, like, it definitely looks like a pretty badass fucking weapon.
It looks like something that might shoot arrows out.
Yeah, it looks something like you or like comes apart. Or it could be like a staff.
Yeah, like Daredevil's staff like comes apart.
Yeah, because I think she is fighting with the staff in one of the trailers.
Yeah.
But also the other end looks like it could be on fire. So it looks like maybe there's like a fire element to it for the, killing the White Walkers or whatever. Maybe. And then the other side is dragon glass.
It's possible.
Have you zoomed in on it?
I mean, no, because for me, it's just like, all right, I know it's a thing. I'll show it to me when it's ready.
Yeah.
Because I know it's obviously going to be made. So it's just like, all right. Well.
But that'll be fun to see like new tricks up her sleeve in that way. Because we haven't seen her in action really like in a little while.
Quite some time.
She slits Baelish's throat, but that's not really her like acrobatic, sneaky. No, that's not her way.
But that her way could still come into play some way somehow.
Well, that's what I mean. So we're gonna see her with this new weapon, and we're gonna get the old assassin Arya back. That's just gonna be fighting. So
which I love.
Yeah. But yeah, we can talk about Tyrion, I guess, and that whole crew, and Davos, and Varys. They're kind of all hanging out together because they're lonely old men.
Well, as Tyrion said, I'm not that old.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are older than me.
But, they think that a proposal is a good idea between Jon and Dany. And it probably is just because of Jon's... Because then they get to rule together, right? Yeah. So, like, it wouldn't have to be Jon. They would balance each other out. It would be like, okay, so this is fine.
Because I think they, especially Tyrion, sees the deficiencies that Dany has. Yeah. In her being in control, and he thinks Jon is a good influence on her, and at least it's somebody good that she's listening. If she's not listening to me, at least Jon is a person that I can trust. Yeah. That has her ear. Yeah. That will steer her in the right way. So a proposal, especially as it comes to the North, will go a big way because obviously North people are saying
they need to be won over.
Yeah, they got to be won over. So they're just not going to trust Dany if it's just her sitting on the throne alone. Yeah, it's not going to be good enough for them.
And so I kind of wonder, like, what kind of plan that they're hatching. If they're going to somehow try to manipulate the situation in order to make a proposal happen in some way.
Not like they have to push too hard.
They need something to do in this season. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And these are the characters these are the smart characters. These aren't the people who are like in battle, making the big battle moves. Like, these are the conniving behind the scenes kind of people, so it would give them something to do.
and plus the way that in the past they've kind of done battle strategy is going to be a little bit differently because you're not fighting a traditional enemy.
It's the Army of the Dead.
Yeah, so I will like to see Tyrion kind of go back to his battle strategy in a sense.
Yeah.
But I do agree with you that somehow, some way they're going to try to ship them, for lack of a better word, together. I don't think they have to try too hard because it's not like they're already together already. But
Dany's like kind of, they're both kind of stubborn.
Yes.
But I don't know if she wants to share the crown.
Well, especially when she finds out, she might need to do them because, like, hey, I have no claim now. I got to do something.
Well, right. Well, we might see Tyrion get to use his battle strategy a little bit because we're still not entirely sure what is going on with Cersei's army that is supposedly coming north to help, or we don't know what pact that he made with her, basically.
If he made one at all.
And I'm sure that there was. Otherwise, we would have seen that happen on screen. But they're misleading us.
Maybe, maybe. But they're definitely not coming north.
No. So Cersei has some kind of plan that either Tyrion... I'm sure Cersei is pulling one over on Tyrion, but I think they made some other pact that no one knows about. It's just this crazy... It's a web of lies, I think.
Yes, that when Dany finds out, not going to be happy about.
Yeah. And it was a nice moment with Tyrion and Sansa.
Yes.
I really thought Sansa, she's really just not a very warm person.
Considering what's happening
to
her.
Fine, but just because bad things happen to you doesn't mean you get to be a bitch to everybody.
But that's usually why you're a bitch to everybody, because bad things happen.
That's not a good thing, though. I've had a lot of bad things happen to me, and I'm still not just going to be a horrible person.
No, but I mean... I hear you, and plus they haven't seen each other since season 4.
Well, right, but this is also somebody who never harmed her when he could have.
No,
never
true.
Took advantage of her, not just like sexually, but like in any way.
Yeah.
Never like
he always looked out for her.
Yeah, he looked out for her. So I thought it might be a different, and then she just insults him. Like,
yeah, but
I thought you were smarter.
Yeah, but I think if they also met in different circumstances, then that reunion would be different.
Right. I mean, there was a little joke, you know.
Yeah, if Tyrion himself just walked in without Daenerys, I think she would react differently to him.
Could be, but there was that little joke. I haven't seen you since the wedding. Okay. Like, terrible affair. Oh, it had its moments.
Yeah, it had its moments. Like, she didn't get to enjoy a lot of it because she had to run real quick. But just, but again, another meeting that I'm glad happened because it needed to happen. Mm-hmm. But I do think that if it happened under different circumstances, she'd be a lot softer to him.
Yeah,
just like,
you did say that.
Dude, you're coming with the queen. Mm-hmm. Not a fan, so not a fan of you right now.
Yeah. Well, so Sansa definitely seems like she's on her own in a way. She's doing all this stuff, and she doesn't really feel that she has support from the people around her, except maybe Arya.
I mean, I think they've warmed up to her as time, like ever since Jon left the North. I think they've warmed up to her. And
I don't mean the North. I mean like Dany and Jon and like. I feel like she's the only. Well, Arya says she's the smartest person I've ever known.
Well, she's putting herself.
I feel like no one's really taking her seriously, and the things that she's suggesting.
Because
Jon's just like, "Don't you trust me?"
Well,
but she's like, "It's not. That's not the point. Like, just listen to me." Sometimes.
Well, Jon is focused on the here and now. Sansa's focused on the here and now and after. Just the same way Tyrion and the rest of them are like, if we survive this, she's trying to see the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Jon is focused on the Night King, and obviously he has because he's seen it. And again, once you've seen it, that's where your focus would be.
You can't unsee it.
Exactly. So I think if Sansa has seen the Night King and seen the army, her perspective may change. But because oh God, her name.
What? Who?
Sansa. Is just focused on like, wait, I'm trying to prepare us, like the North, for what's happening. I couldn't foresee Unsullied and the Dothraki and now dragons, and you bent the knee to this lady. Who is this lady? She's a Targaryen. We can't trust them. Like, it's just a lot for her to take in.
Yeah.
And so I could understand her being a little bit cold and reserved.
Yeah.
Because, a lot's happened to her. And she is trying, but, sometimes women don't trust other women, that's dating their brother or whatever. Like, I don't know if you're good for my brother. I don't know. Like, I don't know you.
Yeah.
And we obviously know what your dad did and how he treated my family. So it's like there's a lot of reason for her to have untrust. There's a lot of reasons.
I totally agree with you. Totally. But, hopefully she'll experience some kind of humanity or happiness at some point before the end of the season. Because she's just not a happy person.
I hope so.
But I love her though. Yeah, so why don't we talk about Cersei now? Because I just really want to talk about Cersei. We don't see much of her in this episode.
And I'm okay with that.
I love her though.
I'm okay with that.
I just think she's she's so good. Lena Headey's so good.
Yeah, I mean she's good. The character's just out of her mind.
Yeah, well,
it's like the first time we see her.
There's still a little bit of humanity left though. Like even though she's completely selfish, like she still has feelings.
Somewhat.
Well, we're gonna talk about that.
I mean, I love that when we first meet her, she's like, the dead broke through the wall.
She's like,
good. Like, Jesus, lady. Like, remember what Jamie told you? Someone's going to win this battle, and what do you think they're gonna do after? They're going south. Mm-hmm. So you're gonna have to deal with something.
Yeah.
But I just like she's like that good. I mean, obviously she says good because of what she sees the Golden Company coming back. So she's like, oh, I'm ready.
Yeah, she's like, I'm good. But I think she also thinks that they're gonna just destroy
each other. Yeah. I mean,
she
would love that to happen. That's not.
It's not a lot of foresight. Even Qyburn's kind of like,
aren't you
okay?
Like, aren't you worried?
Yeah.
Like, we know the dead are real now.
Yeah.
Aren't you worried a little bit? And she's like, nah. I'm good.
Right.
I'm good.
So, Euron and the Golden Company, or Captain Strickland, approach her in the throne room and, talk about how many men they have. Yeah. And then, it's revealed that there are no elephants.
Yeah.
Which
even though
she doesn't take well.
No. But I think that's just the production value of if you have to deal with elephants, that's a lot more money that practically you have to spend and you have to do a whole lot of things. And I don't think that would have taken them longer to shoot those things. So I just think they said, oh, the elephants are too... They can't go on long voyages.
Maybe eventually we'll get the elephants. Maybe they'll send them back and she'll be like, no, I need them.
No, I think because because she mentions it again, I really wanted those elephants. I think they really... Because they made a point to mention it last season.
She really wants the elephants.
Yeah, and I think the show really wanted to... Because they made a point to say, they're elephants. The Golden Company has elephants, but I don't think they could... For $15 million an episode, I don't think they had either the time or the extra money.
They could have.
Because
it just probably isn't important.
Well, I'd rather them spend the money on the CGI and making the dragons and everything else.
Well, they would be CGI.
Yeah,
elephants.
so I would just focus on that. And if there's no elephants, who cares? But I think that's the show just winking at us, saying, "Hey, I really wish we could have had those dragons, the elephants too, but either they would have cost more money or we didn't have time." For whatever reason, I think there's a reason why they're not there. Not because of story-wise, but I think production-wise.
Whatever. Either way, the point is that
she really wants
it's hilarious.
Yeah,
so
I
she's
love
really caught up on the... I don't know if you've seen all the memes online yet,
no.
But she's like riding an elephant into battle, like next to like the dragon. You know what I mean? Like she's an elephant rider instead of a dragon rider.
She would wish.
Oh no, she's on Dumbo.
Oh my god.
It's good stuff. I love the internet.
Sometimes, but I try to stay away from all that junk.
Anyway, whatever. So that's not junk, that's hilarious.
Yeah, but I love I love Euron, like once Captain Strickland leaves, Euron's like, well, what about
He's like, do I get laid now?
I thought, you know, I'm still just a friend. I thought, can we talk alone? The mountain just standing there like, nope.
Yeah, and Cersei has been so proud, and she's like, "No, you can't have me." But then
you gotta earn me.
But then there's a moment where he says like, "Oh, I've done all these things for you," and I think it's twofold. I think she's like, "Yeah, I guess you have done more for me than anyone else has in the entire history of the series." But also, I think it kind of finally hit her how really truly alone that she is.
Yeah.
And also how it's gonna look when she may or may not have a baby. You know what I mean? I think she's thinking like I better screw this guy now.
Yeah. I mean, but I also think it's the fact that like if I don't screw him, he might leave.
Yeah.
And take what he has.
Yeah. So she took one for the team, man.
No, I mean, well, she's been knowing this day is coming at some point because if everything turns out the way she wants, this night was going to happen one way or the other. So it's not like she didn't foresee this happening. Yeah. Maybe not at this moment, but he kind of puts her in a position where she has to do something because he's the type that, like he told Yara, I'll leave. I'll go somewhere else. I want to fuck the queen, but if I can't, I'll just go somewhere else. I'll do something else. And she's aware of it. She knows that. Yeah. She's like, he's getting to the point where he may leave, so I got to do something to keep him around. It's
a very nuanced character moment.
Yeah, and the fact that she doesn't even say anything, and he knows what's up. She's like, fine.
And he's just so happy. He's just
of
like
course.
a kid in a candy store.
He's like, yay. And then he almost kind of like digs the mountain a little bit. It's like, ha ha ha. So don't dig the mountain too much because he might get the last laugh in the end. But I love the fact that, like, it would have been, to me, it would have been against her character if she didn't do something. Because she's all about power and all about manipulating things. And it would have been, I was worried for a second. I was like, she's not going to do anything?
She really
That would have been weird.
No, she will do anything.
Exactly. And it would have been weird for her not to have sex with him at that point.
Yeah, so...
Even though that's weird to say, but it would have been weird for her to turn him down at that point.
So what I find really interesting is after they do it and she makes the comment about the elephants, she's drinking wine.
Yes. And
you can't drink wine when you're pregnant. And she knows this because in season 7 she refuses a drink from Tyrion because she's like, oh, I'm pregnant, I can't. Yeah. So people are wondering, and then she kind of gets teary-eyed when Euron says, I'm going to put a prince in there. So I wonder if she had miscarried. And that's why, she's able to drink again, or if she's trying to miscarry, maybe. And that's why she's drinking. It is a small thing, but we never really were sure if she was pregnant or not. Like, we really didn't know. Well, and we still don't know.
Well, I don't think she would have lied to Jaime at that point when she tells him.
I think, yeah, so it could be that, or it could be her way of manipulating him.
Jaime?
Yes, which is what she always does. That's what she does best. She's a manipulator.
Maybe. I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised at all if she lied about it from the get-go. But, like I said, she turns down the wine, when she's saying, oh, no, I can't have any. Yeah. And it's like, that's unlike you. but now she's drinking it?
I don't know. I mean, because
it seems like a detail that they wouldn't have.
I hear you. It could go either way. I don't think she was initially lying about it, because at that moment in time, they're together and they're united, and I don't think she would have lied about something like that. Considering what has happened to their 3 previous kids, so I don't think she would have lied about that. In terms of now, her miscarriaging or wanting to, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, something's. I mean, it's an important player. Whatever's going on in here, something.
Yeah, something.
Like,
yeah, I mean, because the fact that she's like, all right, we've had sex now, get out.
Yeah.
Like kind of using him.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, stick around now. We've had sex now, get out. I want to be alone. She is contemplating something, so. I just don't. I'm not 100% sure what's happening there, but
I mean, my guess.
I don't have enough info to make.
Let's say she is pregnant, and just forget the wine thing. Maybe they didn't know any better, or maybe she just can't.
It's possible they don't know any better. No.
I mean, they were pretty smart back. Well, not that this takes place in the real world, but anyway. So it's possible that she's just gonna pass off Jaime's baby as Euron's.
That's possible.
So that they can have an Iron Island
Yeah, she could be thinking that far.
And that could be why she was getting teary eyed. She's like, I can't pretend. I'm gonna have to pretend like this is not Jaime.
Yeah, because of her initial say, when Jaime said, "Who's gonna be she's gonna say the father?" She's like, "You."
Yeah. And
now she can't say that, so I think the baby's still there, but I think maybe you just got onto it. Is the fact that now she has to say that this is Euron's baby, not Jaime's baby, and then she has to lie again.
Yeah.
Which she thought she didn't have to do again. It's like
I
have to lie.
Queen,
I have to lie about who these kids' father is.
Yeah.
I gotta lie again.
Oh,
so I think that might be it.
Yeah.
Especially after he says all right, I'm gonna put a prince in you.
He's so creepy.
He really is. But she likes that.
Yeah.
She likes it even says you're such a scoundrel,
yeah.
arrogant bastard. I love that. Because Jaime was. I mean, that's kind of what she liked about Jaime too. Kingslayer, all that stuff. And then when he lost that, she kind of
Yeah, when he lost his hand, everything changed.
Yeah, everything changed. And he's always made a point to say,
she's like, you took too long.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, I was a prisoner.
I lost my hand getting back to you, woman. But whatever.
But that is one of those human moments that I feel like are still there for Cersei, which is why I think she's so interesting to watch as a character.
But again, she doesn't show we see it, but a lot of people I think besides Tyrion, he's seen it, but she doesn't show it a lot, and for good reason because she's crazy.
She's got to do what she's got to do.
But I think that's more of the reason why she was obsessed. I gotta lie again.
Well, so when Euron is over there doing that, we see that Theon comes and saves Yara, which is such a funny moment because she just headbutts him. She's like, "But screw you, you left me." But then,
but that's again, if she didn't do that, that begins her character too. That's the first thing she should do.
It's such a good moment.
Dude, you I've stuck my neck out for you couple of times.
Well, because there's a moment
you betrayed me. Twice.
There's a moment after she does it that you're not sure if they're going to be cool again.
I always thought they would be cool.
Oh, because you never know. She's kind of...
No, she loves her brother. She loves him.
Yeah.
But it's just the fact that
she... parallel there, too, because she tried to rescue him.
Yeah, exactly.
And he didn't want to go.
And that's one of the reasons why, they have... That history is so complicated.
Yeah,
it was a nice moment. I love the fact that she headbutted him.
Yeah.
If the first thing that they did was hug or something, I'm like, that's weird.
Yeah, I was almost expecting that. And I'm glad it didn't happen.
Yeah, because it would have been weird. It's dude, I owe you.
Yeah.
If Euron was anybody else, you would have killed me, and you didn't do anything.
Yeah.
You just reeked out and jumped off the boat.
You reeked out.
Yeah, but that's kind of what he did. He turned into reek, and he reeked out. He jumped off.
I mean, but Theon's not a great fighter, so he.
But still, it's like their men said. If you tried, you'd be dead.
Yeah.
It's he didn't. He bolted. He was like, reek. I'm out.
Reek.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised he didn't just quiver reek and then just jumped. But I love the fact that she's we can just take back the pike now. We can rule it. And then she's like, well, that's what we're gonna do. And then he's like, all right, we should do that. And then she's like, well, yeah, you want to go fight with the Starks, don't you? You're right, you can go.
Be free.
Yeah, but I love the fact that he's now embraced what Jon has told him. You could be a Stark and a Greyjoy at the same time. So it's hey, I'm saving my sister. I'm so loyal to you. I understand what you're doing. I'm behind you. But then I can still go fight for the Starks. He can have his cake and eat it too. Mm-hmm. And I love that his character has gotten to the point where he can play in both worlds. He can be a Stark and a Greyjoy. And I think he is going to sacrifice himself somehow to better maybe both camps.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Danny, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to make it out alive.
No.
But maybe.
Can't have any kids, so, what's the point?
So let's talk about while we're in King's Landing, we see Bronn again.
Yeah.
And he's having some fun at the brothel until Qyburn comes in, and it's like the queen.
Killjoy.
Yeah, the queen urged me to hurry. He urged me to hurry. I like his voice. And hands him a crossbow. Yeah. And it's a very special crossbow because it's the same one that Joffrey had. And
the same one that killed their dad.
Exactly. Yeah. So interesting to see this object have meaning again. Yeah. It's just sort of like...
Nice callback.
Yeah.
Nice callback. I love that.
So he's presented with an option. You could either kill Jaime and Tyrion and, have this truckload of gold, or...
Well, she didn't pay him in advance. She's like, have the gold, and then if they don't survive, use the crossbow.
It's an interesting situation to put him in because we see in the last season that he leaves his gold behind to save Jaime. Yeah. So in my mind, it's kind of like, well, of course he's not going to. So why would this even be a thing?
Well, she doesn't know him the way we know him, and the other characters know him.
But for the viewers, I'm like, what am I getting out of this? Because I know that he's not going to do it.
Yeah, but they presented him with a choice that he might struggle with, but he's not going to do it because
unless they completely surprise us. And
I doubt that. They've been teasing him doing something from the beginning of his character being set up, and Tyrion has told him, whatever they're paying you, I will double. Yeah. He knows this. Yeah. We know this. Cersei doesn't know that. We know that. So he's gonna come up to whenever it happens, he's going to be in a position where he could easily do it. He's not going to do it, and he's going to remind Tyrion, hey, remember you said you're going to double this. So he's going to like, I want Winterfell or some ridiculous thing like that because I could kill you. I had the opportunity to. I've been paid already, but you're going to pay me double. So he's going to get something good out of this.
Yeah, but
I'm not worried about them at all.
The whole idea is boring me. Like, to think about having to watch that play out, it's like, I know he's not going to do it, so why are we...
Well, it depends on how it plays out. He could be in a really... It depends on how far down the rabbit hole he takes it. Like, is he, literally going to have the crossbow at their face and contemplating doing it, or is he just going to literally, is there going to be a little bit of question, will he do it? I don't know. There's no doubt in my mind he's not going to do it, but how far down is he going to play it where he may do it? Or they might present that he may do it. But he's not going to do it at all.
We'll see.
Otherwise, that would be weird because they've been setting it up that he's not going to do it. And for him to do a 180 like that would be really against his character. Because he is about the money. He told Tyrion he's about the money. He's like, oh, dragons are involved? Yeah, I'm out. I want money. Yeah. You've been promising me money.
He didn't fight for Tyrion because Cersei got to him.
Exactly. So, but now he's like, I already been paid. Pay me more. I'll fuck Cersei. I don't care.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about him.
No, I'm not either, but I'm just bored thinking about it.
Because I'm curious to see how that plays out. I know the end of it, and it would really shock me if he actually does do it. Kill one of them, he's not going to kill any of them. But it's just the fact, how far down is he willing to take it?
Well, he won't take it, so.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so we talked about that. Let's talk about the Night King a little bit, because he leaves a message.
Yes.
Right, so we have our friends Tormund and Beric and Darien, and they're sort of coming back down from the wall since fiasco to Last Hearth, which is where the Umbers hang out. No one's there except for little Ned.
Well, we know what happened. Well, we know what happens. They got slaughtered, turned into whites. Yep. So that's why no bodies.
That was a creepy moment. I liked it when you see the eyes, the blue eyes, in the background, and but then they light him on fire, and it's really nice seeing that symbol again. And some people are saying that it has a strange resemblance to the Targaryen. You see it right there. Yeah. The Targaryen sigil, which is interesting because maybe he was a Targaryen back in the day. We don't know a lot about the Night King. That's the thing. We just don't know.
And I'm hoping we get to learn more about him. If not in the next episode, at some point.
Yeah. Yeah. But so what I find interesting is they say, a message from the Night King. Yeah. what's the message? It can't just be, oh, I'm coming for you. Like, I feel that there's something more to whatever this message
those symbols mean something. We don't know what they mean.
Yeah.
So for him, they mean something.
Yeah.
We don't know what they mean. But it is a message.
To get more information.
But we don't know what it means. But I love the fact that he left it.
Yeah.
And with that message, he also left them a surprise. Like, hey, I'll see if I can turn it some more guys in the process, too. But the fact that we know exactly where he is, thanks to the opening and thanks to the way it ended, and we know exactly where he's going and how long the show made it also know like how long it's going to be until they get to Winterfell. So I love that fact too.
Yeah. So I mean, now we're just waiting. Really, I feel like we've covered everything. The only not
everything.
You go first.
Jamie.
That's what I was going to say.
So I mean, we see this gentleman on a horse riding in. And some people will just like, oh, that's Theon. Like, no,
it was Jamie.
It was Jamie. And I love the fact that like he still has his hand covered, like because almost like that part of his life is over.
Yeah, maybe, like, but he also clearly it's symbolic because he had to travel without anybody knowing who he was.
Yes, he's not a Lannister really.
But then there's definitely the symbolism of I'm not.
Almost like that life is done.
Here's another parallel that I love from episode 1, season 1, where he takes off his helmet and it's just golden hair, just like flowing everywhere, and then he takes his hood down and it's just short like black hair, gray beard,
almost kind of how far, like because to see the transformation he has made, and I agree with that too. I love that shot too, where you can just see because he was in Winterfell, he was there, and to see where his character has been and gone, is a complete 180, and I love that, and I love his journey from the completely, for lack of a better word, full circle, because he was in Winterfell, and that look of him seeing Bran and Bran seeing him, and we know what happened in that way that the first episode ended. You know, the things I do for love, and the things he's doing for love. Leaving, like, it's just, the parallels are so sweet. Yeah. Like, he pushed him out that window for love. I do
appreciate that. That's
I love the way that episode, I was like, I love that because it means a lot. He pushed him out for love. Yeah. He comes back because he loves that woman, but he had to leave her because he's, like, love has so much to do between the reason he's there.
Life, though.
Yeah. Oh, it was just so good. Like, people were like, I don't like the way it ended. I love the way it ended.
No, that's a perfect way to end it.
That's a perfect way to end it. Because now that meeting, like, we could see, and obviously it teases what's going to happen. I just love that look on his face.
Well, but I think also Bran says, I'm waiting for an old friend, right? We assume that's Jamie, but it doesn't necessarily have to be Jamie.
I think it is Jamie he's talking about. And Sam.
That would probably
meaning.
That would probably mean that Jamie has a little more importance than just, oh, I want to look at you because you pushed me out of a window. Bran doesn't care anymore. Bran is a computer. He's a robot. But he doesn't want to like give someone the stink eye and be like, hey, remember when you pushed me out the window? Like, he doesn't care.
He doesn't care, but Jamie does. But I think, there's more to it than just like...
than we know now.
Bran knows more than what he's letting on. And letting us know and letting them know that he knows. So from Jamie's point of view, it's like, oh my God, that's the kid I pushed out the window all those years ago. And I'm in the exact same place I did it. So there's a lot of like bittersweet for him, but for Bran, I think there's a lot of, he knows something that obviously he's not telling us and he's not telling them. Yeah. So,
well, I mean, episode 1 literally ends with Bran just falling. And cut to black. But let's talk about one other parallel that we didn't actually mention was in the crypts in front of Lyanna's statue is where Jon gets the news that he is the son of Rhaegar and Lyanna, where in episode 1, that's exactly where Robert Baratheon and Ned were when they're talking about, he stole Lyanna and killed her and raped her. So it's just interesting to see
that's not how it really happened.
Standing in the same place. I still feel like that scene just didn't do anything for me. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the shot placement or the lighting. Just it kind of felt a little like dim or I don't know. That scene just didn't do it for me.
For me, it was like it's hard for me to believe that that's the first time since he's been back to Winterfell that he's met Sam. That's the part that was weird for me. So like that. Excuse me, that shouldn't have been their first conversation that they've had since he
I guess it was weird that Sam just went like straight to the library and didn't like try to find Jon.
That's what's weird for me.
I get it that Jon didn't know Sam was there.
Yeah, of course he didn't know.
But yeah.
Because the last raven he got was that he was still at Old Town, and that's how he found out about the Mountain of Dragonglass. So he would assume that he's still there. Yeah. So I'm not shocked that, but Sam should know that he's there.
Yeah.
That's what's weird for me. That shouldn't have been their first conversation.
That's a good point. They should have.
Had a conversation before that.
Before then.
But I mean, other than that, I mean, the way it played out.
It was just like okay, and I thought it would be more meaningful because I mean we knew this for a couple seasons now, but he doesn't. So I don't know. It's just...
But the way he reacted, that's the only way he would react. Is like to deflect.
Yeah.
Because if he accepts it right away, that'd be against his character. Because just like he said, he's like, if I accept that, then I'm accepting that my father lied to me my entire life. And for him, that's a hard thing for him to just accept right away.
Yeah, I feel like we have fought with it more though. Like you're lying. You don't have proof. Kind of like we said, Danny might have reacted. Yeah. Like, what's the proof? Like. You're wrong. There's no way.
But it's who's telling him.
Yeah.
He trusts. True. And he said in the past, I trust Sam. Mm-hmm. I trust his word. So that's why it matters who's telling him. It does matter.
Yeah.
So if the fact that Sam's telling him, he does believe it, but he can't accept it right away, even though probably deep down he knows it's true, but he's putting all these things like, oh, that's treason. No, but Danny's the queen. Like putting all these things up, and the fact that I can't accept this.
Yeah, I'm sure he doesn't want it.
He doesn't want it because he never wanted those things. He didn't want to be king of the north. He didn't want to be
king of the Seven Kingdoms.
He didn't want to be the leader of the Night's Watch. He didn't want any of this stuff. He just wanted to be Jon, and all these things have just been thrown upon him.
He's Aegon.
Without like him wanting it.
Yeah.
And the fact this is another thing now. It's like, dude, if I accept this, it's like. How do I feel about my dad? How does it make me feel about Danny? It brings up a lot of questions that he's not ready to answer yet. But deep down, he knows that this is probably true. And the way he looks at the statue of his father, just this is probably something like that you would have done. Like, yeah, you're lying to me, but I can understand why you did it because you were there to protect me. Yeah. And that is the kind of person Ned is, and he knows that. Mm-hmm. So. I love his react. I love the way they played it out too. It's him just like them staying on him and him just like kind of throwing things out and Sam saying, "Yeah, doesn't matter." Like Danny's a queen. No, she's not. My dad lied to me. Well, he's trying to protect you. Like him just putting up obstacles and Sam just kind of knocking them down, almost like you have to accept this. You're the rightful king, and you need to come to grips with that. And the fact that he asked him like, would you have fried my dad and my brother? Mm-hmm. He knows he probably wouldn't have done it. And that's what Sam is looking for. The fact that, like, you're the kind of person who would do things the right way.
Yeah.
It's one thing, like, obviously, he has killed people, but he knows he wouldn't have done that. Yeah. Especially, it's one thing to kill the dad, but just like Tyrion said, it's another thing to kill the son, too.
Yeah.
Because, like...
wipe out their whole family name.
Exactly. Considering, maybe Tyrion didn't know. He probably still thinks Sam's at the wall, and he's given up his name. So it's like, you kill the son, you kill their line.
Yeah.
That's not something Jon would have done.
Right, but Jon, like, defends Daenerys for doing this.
Well, he has to.
Well, but that puts him in a really...
girl.
But that...
Yeah.
Bros over hoes, man.
Well...
Saying.
That's some things guys say, but when you push come to shove, she's my woman,
I guess we'll see.
Can't always get other women. I can get other friends.
It's also, she's my aunt.
What? Yeah, but again, him accepting that would accept I'm fucking my aunt. How does he feel about that?
I wonder if that dawned on him in that moment.
I don't know, but it will at some point.
Yeah, at some point he's like,
or if it's not something he thinks about, it's something that they remind, like, that's your aunt, So I'm curious to see how he react when he actually accepts it. A, and B, is he the one to tell Danny? Or does someone else tell Danny and she's mad that he didn't tell him because he knows? Mm-hmm. Like there's that I'm hoping doesn't play out so quickly to the fact that you think this episode
they have to keep that tension going.
Yeah. With a lot of them. So I love that certain things are pulling them Danny and Jon together. He's always gonna be Jon to me. But a lot of things there's there to pull them apart. Mm-hmm. The elements that pull them apart are there. Mm-hmm. So I'm curious to see what happens when they find out and everybody else finds out their reaction to it. Mm-hmm. What happens when Jaime finds out? What happens when Sansa finds out? When Arya finds out? Those things are very interesting to find out.
Yeah, and I wonder...
And how everybody reacts to it.
It's possible that no one... I mean, it could be a secret that he just takes to his grave.
I doubt that. No.
No, but they've done some bold things on the show before. But I think the last thing I want to talk about is one thing that Bran says... where he says hello to Jon for the first time.
Yeah.
And since... I mean, when Jon left, he was still unconscious.
Yeah.
You know, which is crazy to think about. Because he just fallen from the tower.
The paths almost met earlier
They did. When
they were in the tower.
But Jon says, "You're a man," and Bran says, "Almost." So, like, what...
I mean...
Is it just because he's, like, almost 18, or...
No, I think he's almost fully the three-eyed raven at this point. I think that's what he meant.
But the three-eyed raven isn't really a man.
That's the point. The fact he's almost still a man. Yeah.
Almost
meaning like I'm almost still human. I'm still almost Bran Stark, but I'm mostly the three-eyed raven.
The way I read it was like something in the future is going to make him become a man, and I'm like, I just think
weird. because I think once he's fully the three-eyed raven, like almost like he's been telling Sansa and Arya, I'm not really Bran Stark anymore.
Like the line. It would have been better if he said something along the lines of "not for long" or.
Well, that'd be more ominous. Like, whoa, what do you mean by that? But even the line himself, just like almost because John's like, what does that mean? Yeah, I mean, I really think it means like, almost fully the three-eyed raven.
I mean, Jon obviously doesn't know about three-eyed raven stuff. He probably just thinks that like he didn't quite recover correctly after the fall because he hasn't seen him since then. He's probably just like, ooh.
No, but
Bran hit his head a little bit.
I think that's what that means. I mean, we might learn more as we go forward, but curious what you score the episode. We can talk a little bit about the teaser about episode 2.
I don't know. Like I said, I felt that the pacing was weird, and there were just some strange moments that I wish I just had like another half an hour to sort of, maybe not even that long, but just so we could stretch some moments that I wanted to hang on a little bit longer and shorten some things that I felt weren't necessary at this point. So out of 10, what? 10
whatever.
Dragons.
Yeah, stick with dragons.
10 dragon flights. I give this episode maybe like a 6.75.
Ooh, okay.
It just was, I mean, I'm really excited, don't get me wrong, to be back in this, but just knowing how few episodes that we have, I was just feeling really like antsy. I didn't feel like the dialogue was written very well. I didn't feel that, I think it could have been, I don't know if it was just the editing or if they had to cut stuff out or what, but it was just like the pacing and the dialogue.
I doubt they had to cut stuff out because if they wanted the episode to be longer, what HBO's going to say? No, don't make it longer.
No.
They don't care.
I don't know what it was.
We making money anyway. Make as long as you want. We don't care.
3 hours.
You think HBO would care? They'd be like, hey, it's 3 hours. Deal with it. Watch it. You're going to watch it anyway.
Deal with it.
So, I'm like, I think I'm in the minority of the camp where I really love this episode, and I kind of agree with you in the sense I wanted it to be a little bit longer, only because I think there's still some meetings that we haven't seen yet that I want to see.
There's obviously characters that we didn't get at all in this episode.
No, I mean,
Melisandre,
Brienne. I can understand why. Brienne was there, but we didn't. See her.
But we didn't get any.
But I think we're obviously going to see her talk to Jaime because that we need to see.
Yeah, of course.
But I want to see some meetings that I wish again they would have gotten out of the way because for me, yes, there are 6 episodes, and yes, there isn't going to be time to have these little moments. So I'm glad we're getting them because we are going to get them. But the fact that we got them early on and get them out of the way so we can move forward is I think this episode had to be what it was so that we can move forward.
I hope that now that everybody says hi, that maybe they will flesh out some of those interactions more.
But obviously they can't do all that in one episode, you know what I mean?
Hi.
But yeah, exactly.
Hi, how so, well, hi.
Exactly. So get a lot of that stuff out of the way. So I'm in the minority that I love the episode. I love the fact that a lot of stuff that we were questioning and meetings that we want to happen happened already. And in the next 5 episodes, they can just expand upon that. So we saw the Golden Company. We saw Jaime get to Winterfell. A lot of stuff we were like, oh, that already happened. Not wondering, when is Jaime going to get to Winterfell? We already know. And we know he's going to get dealt with right in the next episode. So I'm going to say it's not my favorite season premiere, But considering the heavy lifting that this episode had to do, and for me, I think it did a good job, I'm going to give it 8 dragons. 8 dragons.
I think also one of the things that felt slow is I don't like the episodes where we stay in one place. And we really were in Winterfell with the exception of like a couple tiny scenes here and there. So like the episodes where I feel like I think Hardhome's one of the episodes. Oh no, No,
but I think it needed to be mostly because that's where mostly everything's happening.
I get it, but the point is, I think that's why I don't like it so much. It's just kind of like, okay, I'm ready to let's go to like Marine or something. Like I really liked that about the series is like jumping around to different.
But
places.
considering, we don't have as many characters left.
So. I understand that. I'm just saying I don't like it as much.
All right.
Yeah.
Anything in the teaser for episode 2 that you liked?
I gotta rewatch it, because there's just like so many fast cuts,
you know? I mean, they're teasing that the Whites have gotten to Winterfell. They've also, we also see them kind of, Jaime on trial, pretty much, like what they're gonna do with Jaime.
Yeah.
So,
it's gonna pick up quickly. I wish that was like episode 0, you know, and then we have 6 more.
I mean, considering we only have 5 more left, but... I'm okay with that. As long as I get a satisfying ending, it's all good in the hood. And there's one thing I want to predict that I didn't do in our prediction episode, which we did a prediction episode of what we think is going to happen. I do think that, so one of my predictions was that Cersei would end up being a white, but I think the way they will defeat her is with the fire underneath the city. The dragon, it's not dragon fire, it's
now I'm having
the green fire. Yeah, because that is still underneath the city, so I think they're going to use that to burn wildfire. Yes, they will use the wildfire in King's Landing.
Don't you feel like they used all that to blow the sept?
Well, just the sept. They made a point to say that it was everywhere underneath King's Landing.
The tunnels were everywhere underneath King's Landing.
Yeah, but I don't think all the wildfire got used. So I think they're going to use it to burn. That's why I think that's why no one's going to sit on the Iron Throne. It's going to burn.
Oh, I don't even think the Iron Throne's... Yeah, I agree. I agree with you on that.
That's my prediction.
Not going to make it out.
That's my prediction. They're going to use wildfire to destroy the throne and King's Landing. That's why they won't be... That's why theoretically nobody will win. Doesn't mean everybody's going to die, but that means no one's going to sit on the Iron Throne. It'll be gone. Yep. But that was a lot to talk about. What are you guys' thoughts on episode 1? Do you agree with Alex that it was a little bit slow and you wanted more? Or do you agree with me that they had to do a lot of that stuff in the first episode to get it out of the way? What are your thoughts? Let's start the conversation below. Also, like, subscribe, do all those great things. Make sure to hit that notification bell because when episode 2 comes out, we'll do one of those. And we'll do one for every episode going forward. We'll also do like a Game of Thrones like recap of the entire... show once everything is said and done and the dust is settled. Yeah. But we still also have the prequel show to look forward to. So Game of Thrones isn't leaving us. This show might end, but the whole series is going to move forward. So what are your guys' thoughts? But until then, did you like my Game of Thrones shirt?
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I loved it. I'm gonna try to wear a different one for every episode. But until then, I'm Sean.
I'm Alex.
Winter is here, guys.